is presented by Tama Takoyaki Cafe. Located in between Guam Reef and Westin Hotel in Truman, call them today at 648 Tama. Hafa Guam, welcome to another episode of In the Mix. I'm Jonah Goncharfis. Thanks so much for tuning in. A great show lined up for you this evening. Coming up, I sit down with actor Aldo Gonzalez and find out what made him decide to get into the business, what projects he has lined up, and what's he doing on Guam. A little bit later, we head on over to Soy, located in the Disatani Guam Resort, and find out what special things they have lined up for Valentine's Day featuring Piti wines. In KOM Connections, we get a sneak peek and behind-the-scenes look at the Super Bowl 50 halftime entertainment, Coldplay. And we close out the show tonight with music from Candy. But first things first, Rico Swain is an up-and-coming rapper born and raised on Guam. And he recently released a new single, Get This Money Up, featuring Lil Wayne. Here's more.
Yeah, all I wanted was to finish first. Okay. But little did I know it's all a gift and a curse. And then I'm thinking to myself, it could all be worse. I could be riding in the back of that black hearse.
Rico Swain. Remember that name because you'll be hearing a lot about this 30-year-old hip-hop artist. Swain, who was born and raised on Guam, attended Harry's Truman Elementary and Piti Middle School before his family would receive military orders to move overseas.
A lot of family out there, of course, my grandmother. I'm a Castro baby at heart, But yeah, most of my family's back there. Cousins, aunties, everybody's back there. So yeah, that's how my ties are to Guam. I mean, it's home to me. That's where I was born and raised till I was about 14.
Swain, who currently resides in North Carolina, is making a name for himself as an up-and-coming rapper. He says he's always had a love for music.
I've always been in choruses, even on Guam, in Piti Middle School, I've always been a part of choruses and choirs and everything like that. I used to think I could sing back in the day, but I got older and found out I really couldn't sing. But yeah, I've always been into music, writing music, and then it just caught on in high school when I was out here doing freestyle battles for everybody.
He realized that maybe he had something going when he kept winning battles.
I was like, oh, maybe I'm good at this. And so I started cutting records, and of course, people started listening to it. They thought I was pretty dope, so I just kept, going with it.
Along with his love for music, Swain says that there are certain hip-hop artists and writers that he looks up to.
When it comes to hip-hop, just pretty much the big MCs, Jay-Z, Nas, DMX, stuff like that. When it comes to R&B, I gotta say, Alicia Keys, people who write great songs. Neo likes, he writes great songs. So people like that, writers, I'm really a big fan of a lot of writers.
He says that everyday life inspires his lyrics.
My life here and then on Guam, just seeing different things all across the world, not having that one-minded perspective, just keeping an open mind, and so just pulling from my, experiences with my family and, all the hardships that we go through.
Swain has been busy putting in the work and putting out music, making a name for himself. Recently, he released his album called The Price. It's an album that received support from Hudson and Guam, and Chris Santos, another island boy that was featured on In the Mix sometime last year.
I can't even thank Hudson and Guam, I can't thank them enough. Make sure y'all download that TuneIn app and tune into them every day on the radio, man. I can't tell you. They always put on for, local artists. If you're on Guam and you're trying to get big, you want to download that TuneIn radio app and get in contact with them.
The first single, Get This Money Up, features Lil Wayne, and it's currently out. Swain explains how it all happened. How
I got connected, believe it or not, man, being Chamorro goes a long way. You know what I mean? It's another Chamorro DJ who actually hooked me up with the people that did that. His name is DJ Sick. He's out there. I believe he's in California right now. But yeah, we got to talking and networking, through social media and whatnot. And that's how I got connected through that. Just talking to him, he was like, hey, I know some people. And then he hooked me up with those people. We started talking, worked out a budget. And once I had the chance to get Lil Wayne, once they said that name, I was like, yeah, let me get Weezy. And so, yeah, I just wanted to prove and put on for my island, my Chamorro people, and let them know that I'm able, to lyrically stand with the giants. You know what I mean?
In the catchy tune, you can hear Swain proudly chanting Chamorro King.
Every man on the island is a king, and every woman is a queen. And so when I scream Chamorro King, I scream it for everybody. I scream it for all of us. And if I have the platform to put our island on the map, then that's what I'm willing to do.
His advice to aspiring musicians is simply to be yourself.
And once I really narrowed it down and got my sound, and then started talking about my life, and realizing that people really wanted to just see me, they didn't really want to hear everything that everybody else was talking about. They say the truth shall set you free. So once I started rapping about my life and then my heritage and my culture and putting on for my island, that's when people started to gravitate to me. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people out here who want to be like us. They want to be Chamorros. They want to be cultured. You know what I mean? It's too many people blending in. There's a lot of people, especially here in the States, that, they try to stand out so bad, but they don't really hold on to their culture.
To keep up to date, follow Rico Swain on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.
You can go to iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and just download all the music there too as well. Or you can go to ricoswain.com.
As for what the future has in store for this talented rapper,
I'm working on my second album, well, my technically second album, my third project, the second album called The Payment. I got some huge names on that too. I don't really want to release too much of it, but I got another single coming with Rick Ross. So I'm making some waves.
And of course, he couldn't leave without showing some love to his loved ones on island.
Who do I start with, man? There's so many. Uncle Ben, I miss you, man. I talk to him all the time, through Facebook. He messages me. You know what I'm saying? All my aunties, especially my grandma. I just want to tell you that I'm just out here trying to make the family proud. I know I left the island, and I can't tell you how much, you never know what you got until it's gone.
Don't go anywhere, because when we return, I sit down with actor Aldo Gonzalez. You're watching In the Mix.